I know.
Which is better, Ocarina of Time?
Or Link to the Past. The two games are like mighty soldiers from Greece, each having a spear and a shield. They fight until one spear breaks, and he hides behind his shield until the other spear breaks. They begin bashing their shields until each shield breaks in their hands. No matter how hard they try, neither can kill each other. And I know we like to beat dead horses around here, but let's beat this one a little bit harder.
Bounce, wow wow.
Let's start!
Ocarina of Time starts with a cutscene of the Disscuscion explaining some plot, because, exposition. Then a fairy wakes you up and tells you what to do. Link goes around the forest getting money and a sword. Fuck you, Midnight.
Link to the Past starts with a cutscene of Princess Zelda explaining some plot because exposition. And then your uncle wakes you and tells you what to do. Link then runs to the castle where he gets money and a sword from his dead uncle. Or drunk uncle. I don't know.
Ocarina of Time is like a Rubik's Cube, and Link to the Past is like a slide puzzle. Both can be hard, but the way you solve them is different. You can cheat on both, but that doesn't really count.
In Link to the Past, you can see the whole puzzle, every piece of it. The only thing barring you from solving it is either the lack of your dungeon item or your own incompetence.
And Ocarina of Time is like an optical illusion. It is there, but you don't see it. It demands you have memory as well. You need to understand spacing and where you can dodge to during combat, and in truth, when items are going around. When, to hit something during a puzzle. There are many types of puzzles. Like in one dungeon, the first room seems to be just an entrance, with enemies that make the game feel longer. But later, there's this room with a locked door, and you don't have the key for it yet. Because, progressing through the dungeon, you never found a key. So it makes you walk around for a while and see what you could have missed. When you go back into the front room, and you see that the wall's climbable, and there was a key.
Combat in Link to the Past is deceptively simple, with only a few basic attacks. The real complexity comes from the enemies you fight, most of which are also deceptively simple. As you progress through the game, the basic enemies you fought at the beginning become more and more complex, with enemies showing up their previous weaknesses and adding new strengths as well. As the combat situations become more and more complex, with varied room layouts and obstacles, the game culminates into a varied yet simple to understand and hard to master combat system that not in truth forces you, but asks you to rely upon the items and upgrades you've collected as you played.
Ocarina of Time. This is the first 3D Zelda, so it was a very amazing first time people saw it. Twilight Princess and Wind Waker are most notably, have combat systems based on it, and they're really good games. Ocarina of Time started the Z target, the enemies not being at that perfected height that you can just hit. Ocarina of Time has two main swords though. The Master Sword, which is a long sword, and the ridiculous and impossible Bigger sword, with the blades taller than you. The Master Sword is, very useful, and the weapon you need as an adult. There are many enemies and different ways to fight them. Iron Knuckles are an amazing way to show how you can own a fight if you just keep up the good fight in an offensive way. There are also flying enemies from underground, lizards that jump around, skeletons that shoot darts at you, and many different enemy types. In Ocarina of Time, you have variety.
The music of Link to the Past is incredible. It's incredible at spurring on a sense of adventure and a feeling of awe, at least for me. The music in Link to the Past has been the base for a good amount of the music for every Zelda game to come after it. I think in some ways proving how darn good it is. Just listen to that.
Then there's Sarya's song, this amazing song, that molds children, and in fact, in a case I've seen, makes a child want to play the flute. He's a boy, by the way. It's kind of weird. Ocarina of Time has a soundtrack that will be remembered, and in truth, this is just an amazing thing. It's Zelda standards, though, so of course.
Kvass is here with his opinion on music.
I love both games. Music, of course. But I can see a lot of repeating in both. The opening music in Ocarina of Time is the tornado song from Legend of Zelda. Link to the Past also has some, but mostly Ocarina of Time, with the Kakariko being literally the same one. But Ocarina of Time does have some good originals, like Hyrule Field.
Actually, only the beginning of the Ocarina of Time opening has the tornado theme. Ocarina of Time has items that are useful for, in fighting and adventuring through the amazing land of Hyrule. Link also has magic and different shields and boots with different effects. Their boots make you walk on water and fly. You're double Jesus.
In Link to the Past, nigh on every item has a purpose, either with combat or exploration. Heck, some have a variety of useful applications. One of the biggest praises you can give to an item in any Zelda game is that it changed how you fought your enemies, either making them easier to handle or making a simple enemy challenging by handicapping yourself to a certain item or set of items. Not only do items change how you strategize and fight, they also open up new areas to explore, expanding upon an already expansive world. I love all of the items in every Zelda game.
Link had just been Ganondorf. He ran down the tower and watched it explode. Link hears a rustle in the breeze and runs to it. Ganondorf flies out, becomes a beast again. He hit Link's sword out of his hands and makes a firewall to keep Link away from it. That is the start of the final battle in Ocarina of Time, and an epic way to end a game filled with great bosses. The first boss was intimidating as well, actually, with a dark room and the wrestling. You had to look up and look into the eyes from the darkness, where it made this creepyish sound. And the next boss was also cool, and so on for many epic and downright glorious fights. One mini boss stands out, and I'm sure you already can guess it, Dark Link. A fight that could be won in, a little bit over 3 ways. One is using magic, the second is using hammer, and then there's fighting with sword. There's 3 swords to pick from. There's Big Round Sword, which makes it very easy. There's the Broken Giant's Knife, so you can just quickly stab him. Then there's the Master Sword. It's difficult, but using, it's really hard to fight him with Master Sword, actually. I would not suggest it. But another great boss is actually one I feel every game that's 3D should strive for, someone being like Iron Knuckle. And in truth, Iron Knuckle and Dark Link are perfect examples of what Ocarina of Time's bosses were like.
Every boss in Link to the Past was designed to be a good fight. Some even became glorious fights in the making. Not every boss was great, but all were at least good. One of the best moments in the game is when you finally fight Ganon, who is inside a huge pyramid that you see for over half the game. Not only that, but Ganon is an incredibly creative boss that can be fought with some non-combat items, like the lantern. While I believe that Ganon is an incredible final boss, my only problem with him is that he didn't go on longer. I.e., he didn't have another form or part that would have made an excellent addition to an already great boss. And while I admit that not all of Link to the Past's boss had the size or scope of Ocarina of Time, all of them are great, and I fell in love fighting every single one. Hey, doing something a little bit more freeform here. A lot of the stuff we did for this episode was scripted, and we wanted to give a more unabridged version of our thoughts on not just Zelda, but, some other topics.
I like Dark World.
Yeah.
Yeah?
But I also like the Shadow Temple.
Yeah.
I liked both, but Dark World's music was better, but I have to say the Shadow Temple felt a lot stranger.
It was dark, but so was the well. The well was awesome, though.
I consider the well part of it.
Point of contention here. If you guys like this, we might be doing more of these, depending on how we feel, and also if we're not lazy. So probably not.
Yeah.
I want to do a Mario one.
Yeah, Mario 1 would be fun. But I wouldn't mind branching out and reviewing other things that aren't also
Like
video.
pornos. Bow Chicka Wow Wow.
No.
We can't do pornos. YouTube won't let us.
We can do
Also,
it on
why
RedTube.
would we?
Oh no, you won't be involved.
Whatever.
You're just a guest star in this.
Whatever, guys, this is started.
What do you think this has been?
Why don't you guys start?
Start what?
I guess I think he's broken.
Well, you guys
We've been doing this for like a minute and a half.
well, don't you guys usually have a thing you're gonna do?
No, we've already done everything.
Oh, okay, fine. I guess I can talk about my thoughts of the games. I like both games. They're about equal sitting on my foot. I like Zelda's Ocarina of Time's boss is better, but I also just like the music and play style of.
Link to the Past.
Yeah, it's a lot more relaxing, but well, I think the Ocarina of Time is much more. Gotta do this. I gotta do this.
All right, I'm gonna
Keep your blood rushing, boy.
I'm gonna bring up something here. For those of you who didn't understand, me and Brendan each talked about the games that we preferred. Me talking about Link to the Past, which is actually my favorite game of all time, and Brendan talking about Ocarina of Time,
Tied for my favorite with Majora's Mask.
which is also goddamn amazing. I don't think there's ever been really a bad Zelda game.
Well,
Even with
Phantom Hourglass.
no, that's only bad by Zelda standards, not by actual game
CDI
standards.
CGI games.
Those don't count.
there's actually one good one.
Those don't actually count.
No, that one is just a bad playing Zelda one. Like, it's like $300, so fuck that shit.
The CDI games I don't think count because they weren't like correct at all.
What else?
They were worse than Flash game Zeldas, which I've played. Have you ever played the one where like you straight up butcher a guy and sell him as meat to Samus?
Yes,
The lamppost
so
of no
fun.
significance. It
You
was a
don't,
good
no,
one.
no, no, you don't sell it to Samus. You give Samus a shampoo.
Oh,
You give to like a Hayachi or something. No, you give Hayachi the McDonald's toy.
yeah, you give Solid Snake, I think, something or whatever.
A frog.
Frog to eat.
Now I want to play Animal Crossing.
What the hell's wrong with you?
What? We're talking about frogs.
Well,
Star Fox.
Nah.
So, I got a story from Legend of Zelda Link to the Past.
Yo.
I didn't get the pearl till after I entered Dark World.
Oh my god. I'm not gonna lie. That would be kind of hilarious to do.
yeah.
It was.
No, I have a story from Link to the Past.
Have you ever gotten to the first dungeon of
Yeah.
Dark World and not being able to fight?
Oh yeah, I just
I've
did
done
that.
I've done a lot of weird runs that I never finished in Link to the Past.
Like the one hand run.
The
Weird.
one hand run I have not done, but I'm sure it's ridiculous. Redwood Tree.
Bow, bow.
3-heart run.
I've done that. I've
They're
done
easy.
and beaten that.
They are easy. In Ocarina of Time, like I didn't even notice it until I got to the Shadow Dungeon, where I was being killed in one hit.
No, I did a 3-heart run with no fairies though. Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, I've done that in Ocarina of Time. No fairies, no healing items in total. Must say, for most people, it'd probably be impossible because that was like my 40th time through the game. I've played the game a lot, by the way.
Yeah, he's played that game more than I think Ireland and me combined have played that game.
Yes.
I've beaten it like 2 or 3 times, and I'm basically done with. Well, I'm not basically done with it. I'm done with it for now. I'll probably go through and
I
play
don't
it
think
again in
Bren's
a
ever
year or two.
100%ed it, have you?
I have 100%ed it with all Skulltulus. That was the last time I played it through.
I've
gotten bored of
I
it.
actually, the first time I played Link to the Past, and the only time I beat it, I 100%ed it. Then I was like, oh, I'm done.
Every time I beat Link to the Past, I always 100% it, but that's just my own thing.
That cave.
I've only beaten it like 16 times though.
Wanna know what's a game that's hard to 100%? Majora's Mask. I can't find all the heart pieces.
Oh, I know what
I found all the masks before I beat, like, all except for 3 of the masks before I even beat the game.
I've beaten Majora's Mask more than I've beaten Ocarina of Time.
Really?
Yeah, I've beaten Majora's Mask I think 5 times. Ocarina of Time I've only beaten like 3 times. But that's because I'm really like lazy. Like I've played like I'll start a game in Ocarina of Time and get like to near the end, and then I'll just stop playing, and then I'll just erase it because I'm like I want to play through the game again.
So yeah, I do that with Mario 64 a lot.
Have you guys played Link Between World yet?
Oh yeah, I beat it.
That final boss.
Yeah, it was a good game.
Ah,
I think it's not gonna lie here. I prefer Ocarina of Time over it, but I think it's a surprisingly well done sequel to Link to the Past.
Yeah.
Majora's Mask. I feel Majora's Mask has one thing about it that separates it from so many games. Like even Twilight Princess, which was by the way also kind of scary, very
Scary.
is that Majora's Mask had the feeling of desperate. Nothing's ever going to be right, and it's all your fault things aren't being fixed, Brenton.
I know, right?
Whereas Twilight Princess, you felt like you're fixing the world.
Yeah.
Similar to Ocarina of Time.
Alright, I have a thing to say. So, this relates back to the first time. I'm going to compare the first time I played Link to the Past, which was when I was like 4 or 5, to the first time when I played Ocarina of Time, which was when I was like 7 or 8.
Ugh.
The first time I played Link to the Past, I was in so much awe, because I didn't even know video games could be that good. Like, the only video games I'd played by them were like GoldenEye 007, which is still one of my favorites, but even, I was a little kid, so I was just like, I get to shoot people.
I hate the midget.
Oddjob is horrible, yes. And I had played a couple Pokemon games, and I loved those, but I never played anything that truly astounded me in the way that Link to the Past did back then.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
I've never had an experience to match that. With Ocarina of Time, as much as I do love the game, and I do consider it a classic, but I just wouldn't put it in my top 10 favorite games. My top 20, yes. It didn't floor me the way that Link to the Past did. Because by the time I played Ocarina of Time, I had already played GoldenEye and Mario 64 and several of the Pokemon games, including my favorite Pokemon game.
Yeah. Any last words?
Don't touch children, kids, and the Triforce will be with you.
Let us know if you guys have any games you want us to review or talk about in the future.
And don't play Bubsy, because that's no good.
What could possibly go wrong?
Child touching.
Goodbye.
We probably didn't change your mind on which game you prefer, but we hope that you will at least take another look at 2 equally great games. So piss off.
You sods.